Top 10 Historic Battles Before Gunpowder. Conflicts that shape the fate of nations. Major battles are an integral part of human history, reflecting the conflicts and challenges faced by nations and peoples throughout the ages. Before the advent of gunpowder and cannons, wars relied on traditional tactics and combat skills that evolved over time, making them pivotal moments in the history of civilizations. In this article, we explore the 10 largest battles that occurred before 1400, highlighting the warring parties, the number of troops involved, the reasons for each battle, and detailed accounts of their strategies. These battles shed light on the profound impact of warfare on shaping political and cultural boundaries and document moments of bravery and sacrifice that contributed to the formation of the world as we know it today. 1. Battle of Granicus, 334 BC. Opposing forces. Alexander the Great and his Macedonian troops against the army of the Persian Empire led by King Darius III. Number of armies. Alexander had about 40,000 soldiers, while the Persian army ranged from 100,000 to 200,000 soldiers. Causes of the battle. The reasons for the Battle of Granicus were manifold, as Alexander sought revenge against the Persians for their previous attacks on Greece, including the burning of Athens. Additionally, he had a strong desire to expand his Macedonian empire to include the wealthy Persian territories, thereby enhancing his authority and influence. He also aimed to achieve glory and fame as a great military leader, while the battle presented an opportunity to unite the Greek city-states under his leadership to confront the Persian threat. Alexander believed that defeating the Persians would weaken them and give the Greeks control over the region, making this battle a pivotal turning point in the conflict between him and the Persian Empire. Timeline of the battle. In the Battle of Granicus, Alexander the Great employed innovative military tactics, preparing with the phalanx formation, positioning infantry in the front lines and using cavalry on the flanks. He initiated a strong attack on the left wing of the Persian army, causing their lines to scatter. During the battle, Alexander took advantage of his cavalry's skills to launch swift assaults on the enemy's weak points, leading to the confusion of the Persian forces. After a fierce battle, Alexander was able to achieve a decisive victory, resulting in the retreat of the Persian army. Consequences. The battle opened the path for Alexander to control all Persian territories in Asia Minor. This battle marked the beginning of a series of victories that paved the way for Alexander to expand his empire into vast regions of the Middle East and India. Alexander's victories at Granicus showcased his mastery of warfare strategies and leadership tactics, making him one of the greatest military leaders in history. 2. Battle of Kadesh, 1274 BC. Opposing forces. The Egyptian army led by Pharaoh Ramses II against the Hittites led by King Muwatalli. Number of armies. The Egyptian army is estimated to have consisted of about 20,000 to 30,000 soldiers, while the Hittite army ranged from 30,000 to 40,000 soldiers. Causes of the battle. The Battle of Kadesh arose from the ongoing conflict between ancient Egypt and the Hittite Empire, as the region surrounding Kadesh was of strategic and commercial importance. Ramses II sought to secure Egypt's borders and strengthen his authority in the region, while the Hittites aimed to expand their influence. The battle was also a result of the continuous tensions between the two empires over territorial control. Timeline of the battle. The battle began when Ramses II decided to attack Kadesh, sending his troops in small groups to mislead the enemy. However, the Hittites discovered the Egyptian plans and launched a surprise attack. During the battle, Ramses II employed effective tactics, including formations of infantry and cavalry, but the Hittites initially managed to encircle the Egyptian soldiers. After fierce fighting, Ramses was able to reorganize his forces and regain control of the battle, leading to the repulsion of the Hittite attack. Consequences. The Battle of Kadesh ended inconclusively, as neither side was able to achieve a complete victory. However, the battle eventually led to the signing of a peace treaty between Egypt and the Hittites, which is considered one of the oldest treaties in history. The battle contributed to enhancing Ramses II's reputation as a great military leader and influenced relations between the two civilizations in subsequent periods. 3. Battle of Cannae, 216 BC. Opposing forces. The Carthaginian army led by Hannibal against the Roman army commanded by consuls Lucius Marcius Censorinus and Aulus Postumius Albinus. Number of armies. Hannibal had approximately 50,000 to 70,000 soldiers, while the Roman army ranged from 80,000 to 90,000 soldiers. Causes of the battle. The Battle of Cannae occurred within the context of the Second Punic War, as Carthage sought to achieve a decisive victory against Rome following a series of successes. Hannibal had previously attained victories in Italy and aimed to destroy the main Roman army in this battle. The battle represented an opportunity to end Roman dominance in the region. Timeline of the battle. On the day of the battle, Hannibal arranged his forces in a crescent formation, with infantry in the center and cavalry on the flanks. The battle commenced when the Roman army advanced toward the center of the Carthaginian forces, leading them to believe they were achieving victory. However, Hannibal's troops then surged from both sides, encircling the Roman army from all directions. After fierce fighting, Hannibal succeeded in completely annihilating the Roman army, resulting in the death or capture of many soldiers. Consequences. The Battle of Cannae is considered one of the greatest military victories in history, showcasing Hannibal's brilliance in military strategy. The battle resulted in devastating losses for the Roman army, shaking confidence in Roman leadership. Despite the significant success, Hannibal was unable to fully capitalize on this victory, as the war continued for several more years. Nevertheless, the Battle of Cannae remains a landmark in military history and serves as a lesson in warfare strategies. 4. Battle of Ostia, 338 BC. Opposing forces. The Roman army against the Valentian army. Number of armies. The Roman forces numbered around 20,000 soldiers, while the Valentian army consisted of approximately 30,000 soldiers. Causes of the battle. The Battle of Ostia occurred within the context of the conflict between Rome and the city of Ostia, which was an ally of the Valentians. Rome sought to expand its influence in the region, as Ostia is located about 25 kilometers west of the city of Rome. There was ongoing tension between the two sides due to regional disputes. The battle represented a Roman attempt to cut off the Valentians and prevent them from controlling trade routes. Timeline of the battle. The battle commenced when the Romans decided to attack Ostia after seizing some strategic positions. The Roman army employed advanced tactics, including well-coordinated infantry formations. The Romans executed coordinated attacks on the Valentians, causing confusion within their ranks. After fierce fighting, the Romans succeeded in achieving victory and gaining control of the city. Consequences. The Battle of Ostia marked a turning point in Roman history, contributing to the enhancement of its influence in the region. Following this battle, Ostia became a crucial strategic point for controlling trade and navigation in the Mediterranean Sea. The battle also helped bolster Rome's reputation as a military power and expand its empire in the surrounding areas. 5. Battle of Yarmouk, 636 AD. Opposing forces. The Islamic army led by Khalid ibn al-Walid against the Byzantine army led by Emperor Heraclius. Number of armies. The Islamic forces were estimated to consist of around 30,000 soldiers, while the Byzantine army was made up of 200,000 soldiers. Causes of the battle. The Battle of Yarmouk was one of the decisive battles in the Islamic conquests, aimed at expanding Islamic territory in the Levant and confronting the Byzantine forces that controlled the region. Following a series of engagements in the Levant, the Islamic forces advanced toward the Byzantine front at Yarmouk. Timeline of the battle. The battle began in August 636 AD and lasted several days. Khalid ibn al-Walid employed innovative military tactics, including rapid maneuvers and repositioning of troops. Despite the significant numerical disadvantage, the Islamic army managed to withstand the Byzantine superiority by utilizing the terrain to their advantage. Throughout the battle, the Muslims executed surprise attacks that weakened the enemy's ranks. Consequences ***. The Battle of Yarmouk ended in a decisive victory for the Islamic army, leading to the collapse of Byzantine control in the Levant. This battle marked a turning point in the history of the Islamic conquests, contributing to the spread of Islam in the region and the establishment of Islamic rule in the Levant. It also had a significant impact on the history of the Byzantine Empire, which lost a substantial portion of its territory. 6. Battle of Manzikert, 1071 AD. Opposing forces: the Seljuk army led by Alp Arslan against the Byzantine army led by Emperor Romanos IV. Number of armies: the Seljuk forces were estimated to consist of around 30,000 soldiers, while the Byzantine army comprised about 100,000 soldiers. Causes of the battle: the Battle of Manzikert was a result of ongoing tensions between the Byzantine Empire and the Seljuks. The Byzantine Empire sought to regain control over territories it had lost in Anatolia, while the Seljuks aimed to expand their influence in the region. Timeline of the battle: the battle took place on August 26, 1071. Alp Arslan employed effective military tactics, including the use of cavalry and rapid maneuvers. Despite the numerical superiority of the Byzantines, the Seljuk army achieved victory after intense fighting. Consequences: the Battle of Manzikert had a significant impact on history, leading to the collapse of Byzantine influence in Anatolia and opening the way for Seljuk conquests in the region. It marked a crucial turning point in the conflict between East and West, contributing to the later emergence of the Ottoman Empire. The battle also resulted in an increased flow of refugees to Europe and the beginning of the Crusades. 7. Battle of Hattin, 1187 AD. Opposing forces: the Islamic army led by Saladin against the Crusader army led by King Guy of Lusignan. Number of armies: the Islamic forces were estimated to consist of around 20,000 soldiers, while the Crusader army comprised about 30,000 soldiers. Causes of the battle: the Battle of Hattin was a result of ongoing tensions between Islamic and Crusader states in the Middle East. After a period of conflict and Crusader occupation of Islamic lands, Saladin aimed to regain control over the occupied territories, leading to intensified attacks on Crusader forces. Timeline of the battle: the battle took place on July 4, 1187. Saladin employed well-planned military tactics, including strategically maneuvering his troops to lure the enemy into unfavorable terrain for combat. After intense fighting, the Islamic army achieved a significant victory, resulting in the destruction of the Crusader forces. Consequences: the Battle of Hattin marked a turning point in the history of the Crusades, leading to Saladin's recapture of Jerusalem in September of the same year. This battle strengthened the Muslim position in the region and restored confidence among Islamic forces in facing Crusader invasions. 8. Battle of Plessy, 1296 AD. Opposing forces: the Scottish army led by William Wallace against the English army led by King Edward I. Number of armies: the Scottish forces were estimated to consist of around 15,000 soldiers, while the English army comprised about 25,000 soldiers. Causes of the battle: the Battle of Plessy was part of the struggle for Scottish independence, as Scotland was under English control. Following a series of conflicts, the Scots decided to resist the English occupation. Timeline of the battle: the battle took place on July 22, 1296. Wallace employed effective tactics, including utilizing the terrain to his advantage and executing coordinated attacks. Despite the numerical superiority of the English, the Scottish army achieved a surprising victory. Consequences: the Battle of Plessy marked a turning point in the struggle for Scottish independence. It bolstered Scottish national resistance and gave hope to the Scots in their quest for independence. Additionally, it enhanced William Wallace's reputation as a national leader. 9. Battle of the Calca River, 1396 AD. Opposing forces: the forces of the Ottoman Empire led by Sultan Bayezid I against a coalition of Christian armies, including the forces of the Kingdom of Hungary and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth led by King Sigismund of Luxembourg. Number of armies. The Ottoman army was estimated to consist of around 30,000 soldiers, while the Christian coalition had approximately 50,000 soldiers. Causes of the battle. The Battle of the Kalka River was part of the Ottoman expansion into Eastern Europe. The Christian states sought to halt the advancing Ottoman forces and protect their territories from further incursions. Timeline of the battle. The battle occurred in September 1396. Sultan Bayezid I used effective military tactics, including the use of heavy cavalry and coordinated attacks. The Ottoman forces managed to outmaneuver the Christian coalition, leading to a decisive victory. Consequences. The victory at the Battle of the Kalka River solidified Ottoman control over the region and demonstrated their military prowess. This battle paved the way for further Ottoman expansions into Europe and increased the pressure on Christian states, leading to the eventual rise of the Ottoman Empire as a dominant power in the Balkans. 10 Battle of Agincourt, 1415 AD. Opposing forces. The English army led by King Henry V against the French army. Number of armies. The English forces were estimated to consist of around 6,000 soldiers, while the French army comprised approximately 50,000 soldiers. Causes of the battle. The Battle of Agincourt was part of the 100 Years' War between England and France. After a series of losses, Henry V decided to invade France to reclaim lost English territories. Timeline of the battle. The battle took place on October 25, 1415. The English employed effective tactics, including the use of the longbow, which provided a significant advantage in the battle. Despite the numerical superiority of the French, the English achieved a decisive victory. Consequences. The Battle of Agincourt marked a turning point in the 100 Years' War, showcasing English tactical brilliance. This victory enhanced Henry V's reputation as a strong king and increased pressure on the French in the ongoing conflict. In conclusion, the largest 10 battles in history represent the embodiment of human conflicts and their profound impact on the trajectories of nations and peoples. Each battle was not merely a military event but also a turning point in time, shaping concepts of national identity, politics, and religion. From ancient battles like the Battle of Karbala to modern ones such as the Battle of Stalingrad, these events illustrate how warfare can lead to significant societal changes. Understanding these battles and studying their outcomes provide us with a deeper insight into human history and valuable lessons about peace and conflict, as well as the challenges nations face in their pursuit of stability and prosperity. These battles stand as a testament to the strength of human will and resilience in the face of adversity, reminding us of the importance of peace and understanding in our contemporary world.